TV/Charles K0.
Yeah.
Right. See this? I am downloading that. That is going to mess with it. But let's see. Let's see.
Let's see if it's
Programming
working.
description. Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Well, I
Cool.
see you. I think it's delayed. I think something. Yeah, it's definitely delayed.
Yeah, that's expected though.
And it's going to be basically you and your code. And I'm off screen. I'm just going to be watching you through Discord, right? Or
Yeah, you're off screen. They'll be able to hear you.
okay, awesome, cool. Just want to make sure. So this is what I'm seeing. Like what your what you're showing to me with your screen is what is the Twitch basically stream.
Yeah.
Nothing modified. Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'm basically I'm giving you exactly the same same output that Twitch is getting.
Awesome. Okay, so it's been installed. Finish, close to setup. Finishing.
Yeah, click that box or yeah.
Go. I clicked it, and now we're about to see.
Okay, so
come on. Licenses, unfortunately, I should be reading that, but don't send. Hopefully, like, I probably have to do the path stuff or something. I don't know. Maybe not. It might work out the box.
It should work out the box.
But let me know what.
Yeah.
Should any plugins? Nothing. Anything?
Yeah, you want to grab Code With Me. It looks like I was like the first one there. Code With Me.
Awesome. Let me see. I'm just gonna install it. That's pretty quick. Restart IDE. Awesome. So I got like this machine's got a pretty good amount of RAM, so I'm like kind of good with the IDs, you know.
Yeah.
Might be hard on some things, but we're good. Let me put this. I should put this right here. And I'm going to focus on your screen. Yeah. Let me try to right here. Okay. So what do we got? New project?
Okay, so it installed that add-on, I guess.
Okay, yeah. Right here.
Okay, so I sent you a link in Discord. In theory, clicking on it should do something.
Let me try to send a link in Discord. Oh, got you. What's going on? It's inviting you to join their project. Successfully connected? Wait. Oh, okay. Something's going on.
Yeah.
Let me just close this. And get back to this right here. Yeah, I don't have multiple monitors. I'm just doing off the laptop straight up. So that's why.
Yeah, no worries. Well, we'll make it work. Okay, so it seemed like it was. Oh wait, what? What? Launch.
Interesting. Should I download and launch?
So it's like there's like a just viewer, and then there's like you can use IntelliJ as like the viewer. So if you go into the Intel, like I don't try that download and launch. Let's see what that does.
Download and launch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I keep forgetting, like, my screen's, you're just seeing my screen. I keep thinking it's being shown. Like, uh, I'm downloading and launching.
So I think this is gonna install a totally separate thing that is just used for remote viewing.
Yeah, IDs do magic. Really crazy stuff behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Hopefully it works. It's probably gonna take up more space on this machine that doesn't have a lot of storage. But
Yeah. Oh, you got 118 gigabytes.
I don't know. Get paranoid from like 118. Hopefully this works. Like it should just work. It should just work out the box.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it's like in preview. It's a new feature, but
Is this?
and I've
Do you
never
use
used
this?
it.
Do you use Intel? Oh no, it's new.
I
IntelliJ
use
Circuit new.
IntelliJ. I haven't used Code with me.
Okay. This out. Okay, so that downloaded. Okay, it's just taking some time. I'm waiting for your host approval.
Um.
You
Okay.
could see.
Accept. I saw the security code was the same. Okay.
I've honestly never collabed with people like this on
Neither
Code
have I.
Simulator.
This is my first time. I think this is like a new feature. I don't think people have done this like a year ago. I don't know if like Visual Studio has this feature.
This is awesome.
Oh, awesome.
I know Visual Studio has this, and VS Code has it too.
Oh, it does?
Pretty
Okay.
sure.
So IntelliJ is late to the party.
Let's see.
All right,
So
so it
what
looks
you
like
got?
if I highlight stuff, you see that. If I
see
open
mine?
a new file, it doesn't necessarily cause you to open that file.
You see me entering this space?
I do.
Comment.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, all right.
It's gonna be a little.
So we don't have a specific agenda. But yeah, so I just wrote the Hello World program in Kotlin, which is 3 lines. So if I press run, what happens? And hey, it printed out Hello World. Cool.
This is. It's really nice that it's just like a 3-line program. Like it's not with a bunch of imports and nonsense.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
static.
you'll have a bunch of imports eventually when you start using libraries. But you always just like you never really have to like look at your imports unless you're debugging something specific. But Kotlin cleaned up a lot of the boilerplate of Java, and there's no semicolons. You don't have to add semicolons, which actually is nicer than it sounds.
Pretty awesome.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, like I said, don't have any agenda, going on very little sleep, but where should we start? I mean, it from like the conversation yesterday, it sounded like you had some question on like big O notation, which could briefly go over, even though it's not so much like a hands-on thing. Maybe start there, or I'm not sure what kind of like hands-on stuff I should immediately start with. It's not like intro to programming exactly. Like we could try and do like data structure and algorithms.
Honestly, everything's up to you. But I think in general, I think you could see where I'm at, and then you could be like, okay, well, this is where you're at. So like, maybe see what I should know or what I, don't know or whatnot, stuff like that. Or you could, it could be, I don't know, SC, like teaching really, what's practical, I guess, in a sense. Like what someone who just gets to that point where they've learned the basics and they're just like, okay, so how do you make how does real world how do you find how do you practice get to that level for the real world,
Yeah. I feel like for like that, just kind of like um, one thing that might be good to do is to like have a somewhat specific goal in mind, and then I can like work with you to try and like implement that. That's probably like the best way to do something like that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But I
But
mean, I guess this language is completely new to me, so anyway, I'd have to know, like,
yeah, so
pretty
I think
much
like
figure out.
starting up with some like data structure and algorithm seems good. And you have like no data structure and algorithms experience so far? Uh,
I mean, other than uh, taking a few courses, not in it specifically, but getting introduced to like basically how to, I don't know what an array is, how to use it. I did get
but have
introduced
you
to.
like, do you know like linked lists or trees?
I've been introduced to them, and I've been shown by like a professor in a course, like I guess, uh, how you would implement them uh, in C++, but with kind of like modeling it after and using a lot of the standard template stuff that already exists. Like it wasn't really like doing it the C way. It was kind of just like, oh, kind of wrap it around it, and like that's kind of how it would work. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't
Um,
really like learning how to do it at the lowest level. It was kind of just like, oh, okay, let's create this class, and then we like followed this. We kind of tried to like just make a copy of the standard template libraries, decks and stacks and queues and stuff like that. But it was,
I,
you know what I mean?
I mean that sounds exactly like what data structure and algorithms is.
Yeah.
Um,
But it wasn't like a full, like we didn't get into. I mean, we were introduced, and we maybe had an assignment. That was it. There was like no, because COVID hit and all that stuff. So it wasn't like the class wasn't focused on it. It was just like one chapter, like a chapter with just a few data structures and algorithms, and maybe a shown implementation. But it was in a hardcore like, you know, like it wasn't a hardcore class where it's like beaten into you. Like you got it, you know, you got 10 different data structures and algorithms, and you had to like get down. It was just like getting, I guess, shown uh the like the few crucial ones, and kind of explain like, okay, the high level conceptual understanding and then some code, and that was it. So yeah. So I think that would
okay.
be probably the way. I
Yeah, that
think
seems like a
honestly
pretty
it
good
would be the
place.
best.
What would be the best?
Honestly, I think because um when you do, I guess, like you can't necessarily just like do a project out the blue or something like that. Or it's not like something that you do, um you don't really do it. You kind of have to like have a goal in mind, all this stuff. I guess like data structure and algorithms are things that you could just practice. So I
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
you know.
It's like what are we building? Well, we're building the data structures that we're gonna use in every program later on. Um,
I
so
mean, we could see like what I can remember, because what I
yeah, let's see
remember.
if you can implement or kind of talk me through how to implement a linked list, since I don't expect you to get the Kotlin syntax right away. But I guess before we jump into that, I do want to spend a little time on the big O notation, because it seemed like you're like mostly there with understanding it, um, and it's just like good to have some idea about it while learning like data structure and algorithms. Um, so I guess the concept of like big O notation is to express like how fast a program is going to be as the data gets larger and larger. It's like if you have like 1,000 items, 1,000 is actually is very small because computers run billions of, I think it's billions of like calculations a second. So 1,000 items is not that much, but if you go up to millions, then some things will, like scale exponentially, some scale linearly, and some are constant. And then there's like the log, um, which don't have to get too much into the log. So I guess like I would think about it as if I give you a phone book and then I asked you how many pages is in the phone book, how long would it take you to like find the answer?
I mean, you just go to the end.
Yep, exactly. So like that would be like constant time. It's like it doesn't matter if the phone book is like 5 pages or if it's 5,000 pages. You just like you know exactly where to look for the number of pages. So like constant time. Um, Now, if I asked you to uh, give me the first word on every page, like how long would that take?
The first word on every page.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it would take a while. It would take some time. I mean, it
Like
would be dependent on the number of pages for sure.
right, right. So exactly. Where like if let's say it takes you like 1 second to find the word on every page, um, then there's 5,000 pages. Takes 5,000 seconds. 5 pages, 5 seconds. Um, Now the next ones are so like there's constant, there's linear, and then there's um, faster than linear, um, and logarithmic is actually slower than linear. But I don't understand that one well enough right now to explain it. Um, the exponential one would just be like for the phone book example of if I asked you to take every now like take the first word of all of those pages and now like sort them alphabetically. It's like if you had 10 words, you could do that reasonably quickly. Like I give you maybe it takes you I don't know like a minute to do it with 10 words. Now if I give you like 100 words, it's gonna take you longer than like 10 minutes. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, where it essentially like when doing something like sorting, the like the more data you have, the more difficult the problem becomes, like exponentially more difficult because um yeah, this is definitely part of data structures and algorithms. But basically it's like as your data grows, your like the operations you need to do also like the operations you need to do for each item also grows. So doing something like sorting, you need to figure out like, okay, which one of these like 5,000 words comes first alphabetically. In order to figure that out, you have to like compare them to all of the other words that exist. And it's like you pick like you have to go through like the list one time and say like, okay, I'm going to look for the word that's like A, like the closest one to A. And then you keep that one in your head. And then you just go down the item. And if you see one that's actually like closer to A, then you like replace that one. And eventually you go through all 5,000 items. And then you find one word and you say, okay, I'm confident that this one word is the first alphabetically. So then you put that there, set it aside. Then you go, okay, now what's the second word? So that's like n squared kind of doing sorting like that, where for each item in the list or for each item in the collection, you have to compare it to every other item in the collection. So if you start out with 10 items, you're comparing each item to each other item. So there's 10 items, and for each item you have to compare it to 10 other items. So there'll be a total of 100 comparisons. I guess so. Am I making any sense?
Um, yeah, you are making sense. It's kind of like refreshing, uh, really, some of the stuff that that I was like taught, and but yeah, I mean, I feel like if you want to write it out too, like in comments, what you like to think it out, I guess, like if you feel like that's helpful, or like what yeah, I feel like I mean, it's making sense to me. You're saying so, like, um, with the book comparison, you're kind of making how do I say it? It's kind of like just everything's based on the input. The input would be like the number of pages, and when it's all dependent on kind of what you're searching for in a sense. Like if you're only searching for that, I guess this is gonna sound kind of off. It's gonna sound like trying to think it through, but like in that first example, you said constant. You're kind of just searching for okay, one thing, which is the last page. So like it's just kind of uh, it's kind of just like it's to me. It just seems like when you're doing these things, uh, it's all heavily dependent on like what you're kind of keeping in mind at the same time as you're searching. So like
Mm-hmm.
the more variables you keep in mind, it's like do you kind of get what I'm saying? I'm like not describing it well. I'm trying to
A
say.
little bit. It's not so much necessarily what you have to keep in mind, because you say like what you have to like keep in memory.
Yeah.
It's like how many operations you need to do, like compared to the other data. So for like sorting, if you're comparing each, if you got 10 items and you're comparing each item to every other item, then to do one item, you do 10 comparisons. To the next one, you do 10 more, then 10 more, then 10 more. You end up with 100 comparisons in total. Now, if we're to have 1,000 items, for each item, there's going to be 1,000 comparisons. So it's going to be 1,000 times 1,000, which is 1,000,000. So instead of like, so with why did I go from? Let's go from 10 to 100. So 100 times 100 is 10,000. Yeah. Right. I'll write this down because I'm getting lost right now. So 10 items, 10 times 10. Items gonna be 100 times 100. Typing. So it helps to, I guess, see this more mathematic, like a graph of this. But so basically, the number of items increased by 10 times, but the number of comparisons increased by 100 times. Right. So so by doubling or by 10xing the input, the number of calculations we needed to do is actually 100x. Does that make sense? Kind of.
I do I do see what you're saying. So like um it's increase because like depending on what you're doing, um your program and stuff has not like I said before in mind. You're saying in memory, like you're comparing values, you're searching for something. Some algorithms require less steps or like different, not less steps, like a kind of
Like
like I
in the algorithm that I'm saying here is that for each item, like in the input, we have to compare it to every other item. So that's why, like, for each item, so there's 10 items. For each item, we have to compare it to every other item. There's 10 items. So for each item, we're doing 10 comparisons. 10 items, 10 comparisons is 100. Now, for the bottom here, 100 items, 100 comparisons, that's 10,000. And so while our input increased by 10x, our number of computations required increased by 100x. So this would be like big O of n squared. And the important takeaway that I'm trying to give with this is that there are some algorithms that the more data you give, it becomes exponentially more difficult to to process it.
Okay. Could I kind of um like could I try to, for example, like do like a sort or something, or like a sorting algorithm or something, like the one of the basic ones. So like in
Yeah, like
the
want to
first
try and
sort is
implement one of those?
yeah, the first sort that I was introduced to, of course, was bubble sort, and that wouldn't that be um wouldn't that be O wouldn't that be O of n squared, or no?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
That's why that's what came to my mind, is like the example, because let me try to, I mean, I think it's better to do this. Oh no, let me undo this. Let me undo this. Snap. I did. Wait 1 second. Oh, let me see this. All right. Okay. So this would be like bubble sort, right?
Yeah,
And um, how I remember bubble sort would be like um, in like just plain pseudocode English, just not in code. How to remember it'd be like you could either do sort in ascending or descending order, basically, right? You do, and depending on that, you are um, the largest or smallest values bubble to the end of the data structure, right? Pretty.
yep,
That's kind of like the the kind of like explanation, I guess. The simple. Wait, let me do this. Let me just extend this. Yeah. So this is the thing. When you kind of get introduced to these things without the like really in-depth theory, it's like, or I guess it's, yeah, I'm just, it's easier for me to do the application first and then track back to this, you know, kind
hmm
of.
yeah, that makes
So
sense.
if I wanted to do bubble sort or something, um, my so smallest, largest, pretty much that's what happens. And yeah, so is it pretty much like ants, whatever, like the data types of this? Um,
Um,
like what is
I think they're all gonna be uppercase. Oh god, how do we get rid of the bot?
what happened?
How do I get rid of the bot? I don't know what to do. Mute? Well, I muted it for me.
Okay,
Um,
let me mute it. One
yeah.
second. How'd this happen?
I think that was Natalie. She like hopped in for a second.
All right, I muted it.
Yeah.
Muted it
Don't
completely. Good.
don't know how to get rid of it, so like
It's
I
fine.
could, it'll
It's
just
fine
be here
completely.
wasting its processing power.
All right. So, 1 second. So let's get rid of hello world,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
let's
can start off some of the syntax for this. Showing
wait.
bubble
Wait. Can
sort.
I try?
Okay, sure.
Can I try to create like an array of 10 items? Um,
Yeah,
I'm thinking like in C or just be like int array and then whatever. But like, what is int? Oh no, it's uppercase. You said right? Int.
yeah.
Um,
So what is it? It's you actually you declare the name of the variable first.
let's say like a, just like a basic array, just a, and then would I kind of go like this, or would it just be like a int, like Should I look up the syntax
Um,
or something?
let's see. So we can do. We can be explicit, I guess. Do we need?
You know what? I'm just gonna try, man, because this gets. You do
Yeah.
do you write it out if you want, but I mean this is gonna be rough. This is
Yeah.
first time getting this going.
So what do we want to do?
Just do it in the main. Just create like a array of 10.
So
10
I would do it
ints or
like
something.
let equal stuff. Am I? Why do I feel like I'm blanking and I forgot how to program in this language? It's not
Problem.
let, is it? Val. Val and var. Let val a equal list of. Can I do something like that? I could even
I'm just looking up
go
the syntax real quick.
and.
Yeah, I'm gonna look like a legend, just not seeing the documentation on my screen. Get the array going.
What? Oh,
Let's see. Basic types. All right, array.
int range. Oh, interesting. Yeah, let me pull up a web browser.
Okay, so val is for variable who never changes. That's a constant, kind of immutable, and then a var for variable whose value can't change. So don't we want to do a var because we might want to change the input like throughout the program? We might do like this first example with without changing it, but like if we changed.
Yeah, so do you remember pointers at all in C?
Yeah, just very basic understanding of them.
Yeah, so what what val or var is doing is saying like if that pointer can change. So the pointer points to a specific location in memory and says, here is some data. And if you say it's a val, that means wherever you're pointing to is always going to point to that location. Whereas if you change it to a var, it could point to a different location. Now, it points to a location that has a list of things. That list of things can change, but it can still be in the same location. So, like, let me see. This maybe.
So it's kind of like a. It's kind of like a. You're basically it's a reference, right?
Yeah. A pointer is the reference.
This is just a reference. Like it's like a reference in like C++ to where like it's like a it's like a it's like a it's like a regular reference because they're like const references and like references where you could change the values. This is a reference where you could change the value, right?
So val in Kotlin means that you can't change it. Var means variable it can change.
Okay.
So
So yeah, I mean, I was thinking having it a var.
that. So first, let me fix this up because That should be good, right? What doesn't like about that? Oh, is it int? Really? Okay. So
Why don't you just do a? Can I change something?
yeah, go for it.
Not trying to. And can't we do a? This. Wait a second. I'm looking at the docs.
Yeah.
So you could use array of, and it would be array of. And there's no semicolons in this lang. So it's kind of just like this. And in a way, I was thinking, all right, so let me see if I do like println a.
So right now it doesn't like the t because you're saying you've got an array of t, but it doesn't know what t is.
Yeah, my bad. Bam. Just do. And this should print. Oh, whoa. What's going on? Oh, wait, var. Oh. Oh, wait up. Let's just. Let me just. Let's for a second. Try to fix up what I was doing. Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah, what happens if you press run? Does that do it?
Yeah, one sec. Running unknown. Oh, can you try running it?
Yeah, one sec. I want to see if I can. I might have to like give you permission to run it.
Oh, okay.
Permissions, edit file. What are the difference? Run access, full access. Apply. Okay, try it again.
Unknown, not bound.
I run it.
Says it's successful build.
Okay, so okay, it looks like it ran.
I have two of these. What's going on here?
Yeah, this makes sense, right? I think so. Yeah, this looks like it's right. So we don't actually need println.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the same as print here.
Try running it, I guess. Again, I don't.
Yeah,
what's
it should be the same.
Unknown, not bound.
I don't know why it shows up as unknown on your screen.
What does it show up on yours?
Main KT.
Interesting.
Guess it doesn't matter too much if that tab is off. But what it's basically it's printing the location of this array in memory, and not each individual item.
Oh, you have to. Is there like some sort of formatting character string? I don't know, something.
So I'm actually curious if we change this from array to list. List of, and then so list should know how to print. Yeah. Awesome. So I don't actually. I think array is lower level than list, even though they're conceptually like very similar. I know, like I just use list for everything. It has some additional functionality that you can do with lists that you can't do with arrays. So yeah, like if if you don't need like whatever performance benefits arrays give you, you just use lists for everything.
Actually, I have something interesting that I could. I'm gonna keep that what you just did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna essentially just keep this, and oh my bad. Boom. Let's do this. Do B. And wait 1 second. Oh, wait, what?
Change
There are
to
two
array of.
different types of arrays. There's a primitive array, and there's an array class. So with the primitive array, it would be like this int array, and then it would be int array of, and yeah, and then we'd have print. Let's try this. And let me try running it. Oh, error running unbound unknown. But this should work, right? Can you try it?
Yeah. Yeah, it worked. I guess it is print line.
Oh, but did it?
Yeah, with the array again, we just get the memory address. We could do like b dot. That's why, I don't know. I'm doing stuff that isn't necessarily intuitive. That's why I like this language. Is you can say for each item in this array, you want to run this block of code on it, and this block of code says print it, where it is that item.
Yeah. Just run. Let's
Run
see.
that again. And
Oh, how about just bam? And then can you just do an empty string, kind of like in Java, like this? Like an
yeah,
empty, or does it even matter? Can I just do it without it?
yeah, you should be able to. I think.
All right. Try to run it for me.
Let's run that.
This is a real teaching session. I can't run the code without it. Oh wait, but wait.
That
I
works.
think can you do this?
Yep.
Pretty much. Try to run it.
Wait, why does it not like the plus? Whoa.
Oh.
None of the following candidates is applicable because of the receiver type mismatch.
Oh. I'm thinking of it in a different.
I'm actually curious. I guess maybe, yeah. Adding like a string and an int together might not work in this language.
Oh, wait. I think I got this. Can I try something?
Yeah, go for it.
It should just be print message. Oh, what's this message?
Oh, it's like helping you figure out what argument needs to go there.
Oh.
So like if you looked at like the print class or the print function, its first argument is message.
What's plus? What is plus?
Plus,
Oh.
plus is the same as the plus symbol. You've got
it is like an iterator.
It is the current element.
Oh, you just named it that? Okay, got you. So
yeah, it defaults to that.
Wait, can we do? I know this is probably. I'm gonna do something probably really stupid. Let me just try stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Let me just try really dumb stuff. If it's dumb or whatever you want to call it. How about? So I mean, this is not probably the right way to do things, but
I think that might work. Yeah.
Can you try?
I'm curious. Wait. What if you press the green button on line 8, like next to the main one?
Green button on line 8.
Yeah. And run.
Oh, build successful.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
You see what kind of hackery I'm doing? That's very inefficient. Uh, oh my god, that just looks wrong. I mean, it doesn't look wrong. It's just weird. I mean, printing it and shouldn't it in itself, isn't it something like if you print, can it be like multiple arguments or something in the print? Kind of like in C, you'd have.
Hmm.
I mean, this is kind of irrelevant. This is just with the language what we're doing. Would it be like I don't know, like you know how I've seen in Rust they have like this thing that goes on and
Yeah,
like a
yeah. So
you have
the
like a
Kotlin
this thing
equivalent to
and like
that
Swift and
is
like
this. So we say print. You're gonna print a string, and then inside that string, you want to reference it. So if you use $, you can reference variables that are outside of that are somewhere that it has a reference to it. So you say print it, and then you want a space. So
awesome.
that
And
should
then
do the same thing it did before, which it did.
freaking sick, man. Awesome. Very enjoy like I don't know, just very it's not exciting, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
You're getting the computer to do what you want to do, finally. Wait, but do you even need syntactically, do you even need those curly braces if you're just doing it in one line like that?
Yes, the curly braces. So what this is actually doing is, um, for each. This is a lambda function. Um,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah, so like this is like a function that you didn't explicitly give a name, but you're passing this function into
An
this
anonymous
function.
function?
Yeah, anonymous function.
Yeah, I like in Java, I was introduced to lambdas, like the way they would do it in a certain way when I did like this assignment or whatever.
Hmm.
But I still have very minimal actual, you know, knowledge other than like using it in a program a few times. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see though. So now that we did that, should we get back to the just me trying to do bubble sort? Because I think I should have figured that out. So basically, we printed this out, and we could have printed out as well um, before we printed that out. Oh yeah, can we just do? Can we get? Should I just get rid of this? Just stick with B. Uh, just do an array, a plain array like this, print it out, and then send it off to the function. Let's see, second. Yeah, because if I do like a func or fun bubble sort, the type, uh, if I want to do like a int array a or something, is that kind of how it goes, or it would be
Um,
a? Is it kind of like the same way it is in the declarations a
yeah.
int array, and then is this when you pass a array or is it passed by value or reference by
It's
default?
um it's gonna be passed by uh reference
By default, it's gonna be.
for uh, for everything that's not like a primitive type. I think it's gonna be passed by reference.
Is this is a primitive type? Pretty sure it's
Um,
primitive type arrays right here on my docs.
it
There's a short byte array. The array class is what we tried to do initially.
Yeah, actually, I don't ever use these primitive type arrays. I always just use lists. So I'm not sure how these behave.
I mean, guess we'll try it out. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
comment this out. Comment, comments are beautiful. Just comment it out. We got this. We got B right here. Oh, just gonna do ARR just for an array. And what I remember is in a bubble sort, um, basically I'm gonna think
Hey,
it
what's
through
up?
because
Hey, Kim.
man,
What you guys
What-
doing? What's going on
We
here?
are sort of trying to do some kind of computer science
All right.
programming.
yeah, it's just like my first time ever programming. Not
Programming
really.
in what?
Using Kotlin.
Kotlin, huh?
Yeah.
Do print. Wait, why does this message pop up? I just want to print this. All right, print this space. I'll just run it from here. So print A. This is what we have right here. A is just 10, 1 through 10, ascending order. Print it out and then send it off to. We'll do this. Print bubble sort. Bubble sort.
You're doing bubble sort?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the basics.
Why are you doing bubble sort?
Why not? That seems like a straightforward
Since the
sorting
first one
algorithm.
you start out with.
Oh, I guess you are trying to learn it. I thought. Or are you using like a library you're trying to make with the sorting algorithm?
Yeah,
Make
just
it.
make the most basic.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just using a library for it, and I was like, why are you using bubble sort?
Yeah. So you pass B to bubble sort, and then this is before, or I could have done A. So this is. I should just do this. I know this is messy. I never realized how messy it gets when you're like have people and you're trying to do this. All right. Before bubble sort A. All right, and now you got. Let's just do this. Let me try to get this after bubble sort, and then yeah, get this. Bam. Try to boom, boom, right here, and then we're gonna print outline. All right. After bubble sort. No, not that. Second. No, this is what we're doing. Oh my god. B. Right here. And then we'll print it. All right. And now I just have to do the bubble sort part. Sorry for being very slow. But yeah, so what I recall is I'm just gonna write it out. So should I do the bubble sort in ascending or descending order?
So right now it's in descending, so let's make it ascending. Right? No, the opposite. Right now it's in ascending, make it descending.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it matter if it's ascending or descending?
Look, right now our input is already sorted in ascending order, so we wouldn't see any change.
Oh, okay. Is there any? There's no like change to big O if it's ascending or descending, I would imagine, right?
Nope.
Yeah. It's been a while since I did sorting algorithms.
Yeah, like as we're jumping into this, I'm like, oh gosh, I've forgotten a lot more than I realized.
Ascending.
Not doing great today.
Sort. Here. So I'm just gonna think out loud. Don't try to like tell me how to do it because I'm just gonna try to remember.
Okay.
So what I remember is like you said, this is jogging because like I forget. You're making comparisons in every algorithm, so you keep each pass through like the data structure, each like full pass, in bubble sort, that value. I mean, you keep making comparisons with the first value in the array or whatever data structure you're using, and you kind of what was it? Okay, let me just try to do it. So basically, we got to keep
Just
track
think
of
of the name of it a bit, where after like one iteration of it, you expect one item, like the biggest or the smallest item, to bubble up to the top.
Wait, give me 1 second. I'm gonna just do it, and then I might try to like say it
Okay.
because it's weird. In my head, it's weird to say it. So, and since I'm new to Kotlin, I'm gonna try to remember. So like, um, yeah. Also, I don't have to worry about returning anything in these functions, right? It just like,
In theory, if it's passed by value, then
oh no, yeah.
well,
I'm not saying like wait a second. I just deleted that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to return it because it's gonna get modified. But nothing. Just ignore what I'm saying. Let me think. So, if we're doing descending, we are keeping track of the smallest value, and we're bubbling it to the back. So this is an array of ints. So what we want to do, and this is going to change throughout it. So it's going to be a var, not a val. It's going to be a var smallest, and it's going to be an int, be an integer, and that is going to be set um, to the array's first element to start out. So like that's kind of what we're doing. We do that. So I don't know. I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna comment out later. No, I'm just gonna do it out loud. So we're gonna keep track of the smallest, and then as we go through our for loops, I'm just gonna try things. So for loops, bam, we have a for loop. All right, for loop. Here we go.
For loops are pretty
So
gangster.
we've got a for loop, and we are going to iterate through the array, making a comparison with each values from after the smallest, after the first index. We're gonna make a comparison with the smallest, with the frick. We're gonna make a comparison with what the current smallest value is until we make it to the end of the data structure, and then once we make it to the end, that full pass, uh, we should have our smallest, or like current smallest, uh, or wait, we should at least have, what's it called? We should have the smallest, basically. Oh wait, or no. Oh my God, I'm mixing this up. Mixing this up. Hold up. I'm mixing it up. I think I'm mixing up one of the first two. Uh, Wait, give me a second. Yeah, it's gonna look really bad.
mhm.
Um, Bubble sort is like a constant. Uh, you're constantly. It's not this. No, this. I'm doing insertion sort. What am I doing? Right? Don't say like explain it. But aren't I thinking of insertion sort? Or no?
Are you swapping them?
1 second. I think. Yeah.
Because if I remember right, the only difference between insertion and bubble is one swaps and one doesn't.
Wait. Hold up. Let me just try to figure it out. No. This is what happened. Oh wait. 1 second. Uh, Oh, got it. It's gonna be messy. Okay. What changes in a bubble sort is the length of the search through each like pass the full through each full iteration. So for screw like the for part right now, you do basically like an if you compare. You're always comparing like if the you could have it's not this. This is kind of like the what I was thinking of insertion sort, bubble sort. You don't need that. And bubble sort, you just need basically you just need an index, and you need to keep track of the you need to keep track of the actual size of the data structure in a variable because var last
Ooh, Ethereum made it to 2000.
index
Yay.
equals array
Let's
dot.
see,
Is there a
1994.
size? Is it just you don't have to answer it. I'm just I think array dot size. IntelliJ can help me out. Array dot size.
Looks
There's a
right.
size to this, and it's a var. We could change it because we need to change it. And here, 1 second. Oh my gosh, what I do? All right. Bam. Okay. Oh my. Okay. Whatever. Do this. Okay. So then in a for loop, you got an int I equals oh no. You have can I do oh is it a C style or is this am I doing this you don't have to like explain. I'm trying to just fight with this syntax. I'm just gonna look up for loop Kotlin. Second
Yeah. I'm
for loop
curious
Kotlin.
why you need the last index though.
Because I'm gonna get to my thinking after I like do the like try to get my thought out. I'll try to say for. I'm thinking of. Is there like a C style for loop? Or,
Yeah, there should be.
okay. Second. C style for loop. Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, hi, darling. How are you, buddy?
Is there?
Good boy.
All right.
Good boy.
I guess. I don't. I could do this without a for loop. Then I could do this without a for loop. And what I could do is while
That's great.
shit. Because what I was thinking of it basically the for loop would be I'd have like a for loop like a C style one, and in that for loop I'd be comparing the index. I'd be comparing shit.
So you can I just like give a how the for loop could work.
Yeah, you can help me with the different for loop syntax.
Till where are we? Huh, interesting. Oh, I guess that makes sense. for I in array indices. So you're gonna for each index in the array.
Let me try to write this.
That.
Let me watch. Now that I'm done with.
Okay. It changes the length. So you switch. You compare values. You compare every item next. Compare each. You compare each item to the one next to it. You
this last one would have been
move
low.
the smaller one over when you make it to the end of the array. You your smallest value should be at the end of the array. Then you should then the last index that you should search becomes the becomes the index before that before the current or no before the becomes the second to last element in the array. Wait, is this still going? Do you see kind of like my thought process? Like
Yeah, I'm reading
and then
through it. Yes, that's right. And then
then
last.
you repeat this process until um, the last index until you until these the search index is until the search index is until the search then you repeat this process while the search index is greater than um, the oh wait then you repeat this process while the search index is greater than the the last while the search index is greater than the first index in the array. This is like a rough thing, so it's kind of like it's not it's kind of like can I try to let me try to one note draw it out. Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Let me pull up a notepad too.
This is rough. Try to write this out. Delete. All right. So in this case, I don't have like a pen, unfortunately, but where's I haven't done this in so long. Okay, so what it is, it's like imagine I have three elements. I just have to figure out how to get this in Kotlin, you have 3 elements. No, I'm gonna do 5. Ugh, just doing this with the touchpad. But you have
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it's
4.
working.
You see me at all?
Yeah.
So you have 3. So basically, in a bubble sort, um, you're just comparing. You start with the first one, this first element. You compare it to the second element, like this, the one next to it. Then, since in this case, the second element is bigger than the first element, the one next over, I would switch this if we're doing descending orders. So this would become 2, 1 after the first comparison in the bubble sort. Then I'll just continue comparing them, and I'd keep moving them until it become 1. It would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then basically, what it'd be is I keep doing this, or wait, I keep doing this, and by the end of the first full iteration, by the time I switch the last element and the second last element, whether I switch or not, I will have the smallest element in its place, but I'll still have to figure out the rest, like right here. And since I'll have the smallest element in its place, I will stop searching. The last index I'll search in the next full iteration will be the second last element, and I keep shrinking the amount of elements I search. Like I keep the last index that I search keeps becoming earlier, or like earlier in the data structure, like earlier. It becomes one less than the previous. Uh, it becomes the position that is before. How do I say it? It's one position ahead, I guess, ahead of the previous last index, and then you're supposed to do it until um, until basically you don't, like, I would keep track of basically this index, and once I make it through the switching all of them, I would subtract it, and this would become that index, and I would once I make it through a full pass, this would become the index. Then I make it through a full pass, this would become an index. We swap, and I subtract, and then since it would be this first element always has an index of 0. Once my search index is not greater than 0, I would stop searching, because all of these would be where's my pointer? All these would be sorted. It's like a really crappy way of. I wasn't looking at your screen. Was I supposed to? But it
No,
was
no,
kind of
no.
like a crappy way that I was trying to get it down. So, like in C, can I write it out in C code and then try to translate it in like Kotlin? Is that cool?
Yeah,
Like in a
yeah,
comment?
you got the algorithm right, where you do all the items, and then you end up where the last item is now in the right position. And so the next time you do it all the way up until the last item, since you know that one's already in the right position. So -1, then just keep going one less.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it with C, because I did these in C++. That's why just do it like this, and then I'm gonna space it out. That's gonna be ugly. But so basically what I keep track of is basically the uh let's say int last search index, for example. That'd be equal to, in this hypothetical array, it'd be like, okay, array dot size if it's C++, or it'd be like, let's say we have like a constant we have a constant const int array, or no, const int size whatever equals 10. And we have this, like, I know this is like kind of irrelevant, but int array size blah 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 blah, and then you have this equal to like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
Or it wouldn't
that
even be
looks
necessarily needed.
right.
But like we have like a size of 10. I'll do it the C++ way, screw it. C++. And then it'll be like, okay, array.size, we keep that. It'll give us the full length. And then we go through the for loop and we do for int for. In this case, we would do it would be we don't necessarily even need this. We could just do this. My bad. Thought it out. We would just do this. We would just do this. Actually, let's change this. It would just be bam. Wait. I got this. Second. No, redo that. Would it be basically condition would be like, so while last search index is greater than 0, then we would subtract, we do last search, and oh my god, I'm figuring it out. The condition that we keep doing this on is oh, I have two for loops. I forgot. I have two. So we keep doing this while we, the first, oh my god, I figured it. I'm remembering it. It's this. So the first for loop we got going involves this. First for loop. So we got a for loop inside of a for loop. So that's big O n squared. And let's try to get this 1 2 3 4. For loop. Bam. Bam. All right. Awesome. All right. 1 2 3 4. So in this one, we're just going to do the basics where we just iterate through array. You know what? Let's just do this one. So in this case, we have 1 second. We only go through this. This is initializer. So we have int last search index equals array dot size, for example, and then while last search index is greater than 0, and then when we make it through each pass, we will just do minus last search index, and then in this case right here, we will do we'll just iterate through here. So for int I equals 0, I is less than array dot size plus I, and then 1 second, just do this 1 2 3 4, and then in this case we would just do an if statement, and we'd be like, okay, so if array I is less than array I plus 1, then we will swap. Oh, but in this case, we have to actually have a temp variable
Mm-hmm.
because we got to keep track of that. So in this case, we're going to create a little temp if this is true. So we're going to do int temp equals array I. 1 second. Int temp, and then we're going to do it's going to be array I plus 1. 1 sec. Equals array I, and then array. Oh no. Then we'll do array I equals. Oh no. Hold up 1 second. I'm gonna figure this out. This is minor thing. What am I doing right now with this? So basically, I'm making a comparison with the current index and then with the index next to it. And I'm saying if that current index is less than the index that's next to it, I'm creating a temp variable. I'm setting the temp variable to the value of the current index, and then, oh yes, this is what I need to do. How about I just erase this? Whatever spaces, but I just do array I equals array I plus 1, and then array I equals array I plus 1, and then array I plus 1 equals temp, and then uh, 1 second, let me see. So we create this int array. You have the last search index. Last search index at the start of everything, at the start of the bubble sort, is the last element in the array. And then we do that until that last search index is we stop this. We follow this process. We keep going. We keep making these iterations through the data structure until that last search index is below, until it hits 0. So we do that process while it's greater than 0. Once it gets to 0, we stop. But before that, through this freaking we keep making these comparisons in this for loop. Yeah, this is a rough explanation, not great, but we once this condition is through, the last search index is not 0, it's still greater than 0. We go through the loop, we iterate through each element in the we iterate through each element in the array, and then we make a comparison. So if array I is less than, if the current element, the current index or element in the array is less than the one that it's next to or ahead of or before in the array, then we will swap it. We'll swap the values of the current index with the one next to it, and we keep doing this until we hit the end of the array. Once we hit the end of the array, once we make all the comparisons to the first iteration, then we decrease the search index because after each iteration is complete, we have successfully gotten either the smallest or largest value to the end of the array, because that's how bubble sort works, which is a bad explanation way to say it. But since it's the descending one, we'll get the smallest. I don't know. I feel like I did it. I still have to run the code, and I guess
Um,
since it's on C, it's like kind of like
so where is last search index being used?
oh god. Uh, I guess it's just here in this in this for loop. I'm just initializing it. It's just this it follows, it does like this, the condition that keeps it's going, and I just decrement it. But
Yes,
oh
that
my
that
God.
works. It'll give
Oh my
you,
God.
it'll loop through it 10 times.
While I is less than ooh, oh snap. Wait. So you go I equals 0, then I is less than last search index. Yeah. Did that fix it?
That looks mostly right. I'm wondering if there's like a off by 1 error with, so last search index. Well, last search
Should I try
index
to
is greater than 0. Um,
should I try to run
so
it in like a the freaking like the online compiler,
yeah,
just
if
run
that's
it
the thing,
quickly,
yeah.
or I could just do it like in Ubuntu CPP. So 1 second, clear. Let's just do this. Where are we at? All right, let's just go to and then we're gonna just do and then in here I'm just gonna do like a notepad main cpp. Oh snap, wait, notepad exe. Yes. Second.
Oh, if you middle click, you can select stuff like starting at a certain like index, if that makes sense. Like I can select stuff like that.
I'm just using this
Yeah.
mouse pad. So, wow. Yeah. Let me just get rid of this. Yeah. You know what? Shouldn't have done this in Notepad. Could just do this. Save. Just do this like this. Okay. Include. Yeah. Freaking. Wait. Damn. Do this. This. Boom. 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 Yes. Ugly. Okay. Shut up. Okay, and whatever. This is June. Okay. It's ugly spacing, but all right. Yeah, this is it's probably on stream. Very little activity. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, whatever. That looks right.
But thanks for helping me out. I didn't notice that little, you know.
I actually think it would work. It would just do some comparisons it doesn't need to. It would just like check to make sure all the elements you already put in their place are still in their place. Because like not like researching the ones that you already know. That just like saves a little bit of time.
Oh my gosh. That's why it's not going. Okay. ugly. All right. Okay. Yeah, this is taking a while. You just to type this up, but it's gonna be and oh, or it's like and this is the weird.
I think you'd say the symbol and then brackets. I think.
Like this.
Yeah.
Damn, syntax there is a real. So yeah, I hate the fact that yeah, just I feel like writing it out. There's so much to write out. Just I wish I tested this out in an easier way. Um, like in the IDE or something. But let me think. Uh, and then actually I don't need to even worry. I just need to do bubble sort R, and then I remember uh, in this we got like I could do this auto E something like R A to std cout E no and then std cout like handle wait up but I gotta hash to include IO stream. Probably gonna be definitely gonna have some like freaking compile errors and whatnot. Do I got G++? Yeah, I was not prepared.
Okay, so I've learned. I think I am too tired to be explaining CS concepts right now. I've also learned that I am not going to be the best at explaining these algorithms since it's been so long. But
I want to just get through this one because it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
since we got through this far.
yeah. And, like we could
it-
talk about like general stuff too. I think it's just like actual coding right now is not great.
yeah, I definitely you know, I mean this far it's helped me at least get to do it again. I just need to do it, practice it. Okay, so let me just. All right. Let's just do G++ main.cp-o. And then just yeah, we'll just do it like this. See what goes on. std. Oh yeah, syntax error. Forgot the std. We got that. Next one. And then request remember size, which is an true. I'm not using a frickin' vector. Why did I even do that? I have to actually. Yeah, that's the weird thing that the languages have their specifics that I was constant size. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 equals 10. And then in this case, can I even, should I even, I mean, I shouldn't even care to initialize, it doesn't matter. What really matters is kind of like, I'll just replace. This is just for the program. This is not good, of course. I know this is not good at all.
Isn't there like a size of function?
No, because I'm using like
Oh,
a plain
is this?
array in C.
Oh,
So
this
I'm
is
just gonna do
maybe
this
that's a C++.
globally. Yeah. No, and I remember when I was introduced actually to it, like my teacher's like, just use vectors because then you have the size function. So that's why I
Hmm.
remember. That's where the dot size. So I'm just gonna make a global variable that holds the size, just because I'm gonna,
Yeah.
which isn't good, but you know. Okay, so now it should work. All right, now let's see. A dot out. Holy crap! What did I do? Oh my god, this is horrendous. Oh, oh my god. Oh wait, did I even do the right amount of whatever? 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
there's 10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what? I'm not gonna do this fancy loop. I'm just gonna do equals 0. I is less than size.
Was it wrong? It looked like it was right.
I don't know. I'm just gonna do it like this, and I'm gonna do array I. Let's try it. Oh no, what am I doing?
Oh, okay, I missed the last one.
What did I do? Oh my god, did I fail that hard? Yes, I did. What did I do? Um, wait. Oh, oh no. Oh no. This is what happened. I got it. You pretty much um uh 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 uh, uh, it's it's um it's this. Oh my god. Wait. This. Yep, got
Hey.
it. Did you see?
Yeah.
I got it.
Wait, what was wrong? I missed what was wrong.
I basically would compare until like I would try to it would make that comparison. Basically, like my index would do as less than last search index, uh, and then basically it would keep going. Like when I would make a full iteration, instead of what's it called? Instead of going, what would how do I put in this in words? Uh, Let me just rerun this. It'd be even easier to say it. So I changed it back. So the difference
Yeah.
is I did I is less than that minus 1 and then G plus plus and then oh wait, what? Oh wait, no. Wait. Did I even correct this? Wait, what? Wait, what just happened? What? This compiles and then when I run it there's no smashing of anything. You see how it was like stack
Yeah,
smashing?
yeah.
So
Oh,
this
wait.
would
Well,
be
yeah,
it.
what happened?
It was really I think it's literally the for loop. Oh, you know why that happened? I figured it out. You know why that happened? So it wasn't
No.
even this. It had nothing to do, like my actual bubble sort is fine. Um my bubble sort is fine. What actually is the issue is I did like a for each.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I did this,
Yeah, yeah, the auto thing.
like auto it detects the type, and then that's the element, and then I just put the name of the array. So it'd go through each one, but no, that doesn't make sense because this has nothing. This is just printing stuff, you know? You know what I'm saying? This just prints stuff. Why is that a problem? Or maybe if I get rid of auto, if I did int e. Oh my god. Oh,
Okay.
okay. This is what's. Yeah, do you see what happens? It's
No, go
weird.
back to the code. Let's see. For int e in ARR.
That's weird. Honestly, I can now just open this up and just to have it graphically. Actually, I won't open it up from here.
I don't know. Like, it seemed like it was doing what you wanted because it printed out the first 9. I don't know. I don't see what the problem with the last one was.
Maybe I'll just take this to like a. No, that's the weird thing about this. So like I would create an array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 1 through 10, so it's 10. I pass it, it gets it, and then it does this thing. Well, it's less than it. Oh. Okay.
What are you thinking? 'Cause I don't see it.
Oh no, I didn't do it in here. Okay. So it prints out in descending. It prints out descending, but what? Wait. Let me try.
It's probably going to run the first one and get an exception and then not run the second.
Oh, my bad. 2. Yeah. It was 10. It literally does nothing. It does the. They're both fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as I get rid
What?
of this,
Oh.
that's where I think that's actually the fix for it. No, what? Do you see?
What?
This is
What?
weird behavior. This is complete weird behavior. Like, why? That's just weird.
So we commented out that the first for loop, or I guess no, it'd be the second for loop. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. How would it run the first for loop if the second one is somehow fixing it?
Do you see that? That's just, I don't know what's going on.
I don't
You know?
either.
Like, kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to really test this out. I don't even care if I could write this in Java. I don't know, just in anything as long as it could be tested out. Do you think you could translate this to just Kotlin?
Yeah, let's see if I could do that.
Like I know we don't want to get stuck up on code like this, but just like
Nah,
I mean we have the IDE.
I better be able to do this, otherwise I don't know. Okay, so what was the first one? For
Can I copy and paste it?
index. Oh yeah, I guess in case there's any changes from the code before.
We'll do notepad.exe main.cpp. Let me just I mean, I'm just gonna copy the bubble sort. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Bam. Bam. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, got a multi-line comment. So
For
can you read it? Is it legible?
yeah, it's fine.
All right.
For search index is equal to size. So we want search index size from. So where are we going? We're going from the size to 0. I guess it's like reversing this then. In 0. Then we're going from 0 to last search index.
Wait, since I'm not trying to mess up the train of thought, but
Yeah, go for it.
like, would we be able to write this in Java in our Kotlin program, or no? Like,
You could have another file that's a Java file. So I could do like new Java class.
call it from Kotlin.
Yeah, we could do that.
Can we do that? Because
Yeah,
it'll
sure.
literally, it's like it'll just translate it. Like exactly. We don't have to. You don't have to like translate to Kotlin.
New Java class. Class is
Just do like a static function.
yeah. Do we need public? Sure. Public static. Can this be void? I think so. Public static void. Do sort. And this is a Java array, so I say it is R, and then the type is int. No, Java, you declare the type first. Like that. Okay. Wait, why? Are you still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Holy crap! My Discord's doing weird stuff. Look at my screen.
Yeah, I don't see your screen.
What the heck is going on? Wait. Let me turn this off. I'm gonna turn that off. I mean, you already see the code. That's really what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're collabing, so you see it. So I could just turn on my camera, and now you see me. Okay.
Yep.
Still good. You got the code.
Okay. Bubble sort. Okay, we've got that. So sure, let's just copy this over. Right? See how close that gets us. It's pretty close to being totally valid Java code. Oh, we just need the size, which is what?
Make like a const. Do it outside the. Oh, you could just Yep.
Yeah. Do sort. Okay. So I guess I don't know. In theory, that all is valid syntax. I don't see any errors.
I don't get to even see the Java class you created. It's like not updating for me.
Yeah, that
Weird.
was weird. Like I saw your screen. I thought it was like a Discord glitching out and not updating, but I don't know why bubble sort wouldn't be updating. How does that work?
Oh,
Like if you click in like the, can you add any text to the bubble sort
let me
file?
show you my screen.
Yeah.
Screens. Screen 1. Live. See it?
Okay, let's see.
See my screen or no?
Yeah, yeah, I see it. But that looks right.
Let's see. Yeah, but pretty much it says only current file. It says 2. I don't know. I don't use IntelliJ. I don't know if there's like a directory
Or-
thing.
There should be, but
Bubble. Yeah, I found it. I just had to search for it. I just
weird.
don't have the
Yeah,
little menu.
okay.
Just open it.
So now in our main
Teach me the
what's
imports.
it called?
We could drag this all the way down. Is it because the order doesn't really matter? It just
Yeah, so here's our array. So we still want that. Bubble sort. Okay, after bubble sort, so like here we should do the bubble sort then.
But you don't have to import anything? Like, you don't
It
have to
should
do
auto import it for me.
bubble sort dot do sort? Oh, sick.
But it did not auto import it.
No, you didn't pass the
strange.
value.
Yeah. I don't know why. This must be initialized here. Oh, bubble.
It
Oh,
works.
okay, I see it. Oh, I don't need to import it because it's actually in the same package.
Sick. Awesome.
Sort, do sort, and run it.
Oh no, we don't want to. We still have our original implementation, which we could just get rid of, because it's just we're trying to do it in Kotlin. I think it'd be nice to keep the
Yeah.
just to show like what I was doing. Not that it's gonna like matter in the grand scheme of things, but we're gonna keep the comments at the end, the mess. You're still gonna print through here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's try that.
Oh God.
Bubble sort. Okay, so we print it out originally, then we do sort, and what do we get? Class not found exception. Okay, why? Bubble sort. Do sort. What am I missing? Class. Do sort.
Oh, why are you doing this?
Because no class def found error.
Can I just run it? Try to run it.
Yeah.
Oh. No class def found error. Can you do it? You can't even do like Java code inside of a Kotlin file, like kind of like.
No,
You know what I'm
you can't have the two languages in the same file. But this should work.
Yeah, you put like this after it.
Oh,
guess
you know what?
Do you need it?
Public
Parens?
class bubble sort. Public static. Maybe if I don't make that static. What does that do? Nope.
Well, I think we don't have. Maybe like try an import. If it maybe like it doesn't technically, we think it's auto importing. Maybe it's the import problem. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
I could Google it while you try to change it. real quick. Calling a Java. Oh yeah. From
Yeah,
Kotlin.
does are there namespaces in this shit?
Yeah,
give
there's the Java packages.
Java interoperability. And I'm calling Kotlin from Java, but what about Java from Kotlin? That's the real thing. Calling Java code from Kotlin?
Why is it like letting me? Oh, something funky's going on. Because like the syntax highlighter knows what's up and it thinks it's valid. But when we run it, it's
So
not.
you don't
I'll
have
try
to
both.
do that up or instantiate the bubble sort class.
So that's what this open close brackets does in Kotlin is equivalent to new.
Okay.
Yeah, you just don't have the new keyword.
That's probably
What is going
no,
on?
I just did something dumb. I was just see. Because I'm looking at this demo code, and pretty much this is all they said like you need to do. There's like you could do this, and this is valid, and run your Kotlin program. I mean, use your Java stuff like this.
So what is the actual exception? Because
No class def found error on bubble sort on this line.
okay.
Class def found.
But take a look. Thrown if the Java virtual machine or class or instance tries to load the definition of a class as part of a normal method call or as part of creating a new instance using and no definition can be found. So it's not the definition of the class is not being found.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's not building Java source files because we haven't told it to do so.
Yeah, it's something with that process. It's not the code itself, I don't think at all.
Yeah, because like the syntax highlighter works. So here, like I need to create a new instance of it in order to call doSort. But if I go ahead and make it static, so I shouldn't need a new instance, public static void. Now it says, oh, hey, something's up. So if I remove those brackets, now syntax highlighter says it's good. So I think the Java part of that is not getting compiled. It's only compiling the Kotlin code.
Do you think there can be something you could edit?
Yeah,
Build?
looking what
That's
it is.
kidding.
Plugins ID Java.
It shouldn't be this complicated to just do this.
Plugins Java.
I love the quest to just compile a simple bubble sort. I mean, that's simple for me.
Looks
It's
good.
doing a little small program.
I tried to copy your bubble sort into C# while you guys are doing this, and it does not run for me.
I mean, we got working in C++. So C++ is fine. So there's something that's kind of wrong. I mean, oh, if you just copied it straight up like from this file, from the IDE itself, like with the size and stuff like that, like the constant size, without like if you forgot
I got rid of. I fixed the size, but that was the only thing that needed changing.
Yeah, no, yeah, you got it with array.length. That's like the equivalent of C++'s dot size on like a vector dot size function.
Yeah. Okay, found.
Are you doing this for like school, or what's the reasoning behind this?
Honestly, I was just chatting with him yesterday. I was like, "Hey, man, do you want to like
Oh, I see.
because he's been, I guess he TA'd and done some stuff with data structure and algorithms back a few years back, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and I've
I
apparently
don't have like a
forgotten all of it.
don't have a strong background in it, so I thought, hey, man, um, like let me try to like he's like, oh, let me show you also like let's try to do it in Kotlin, like try to do your like get a refresher and also learn more about data structure and algorithms. While like let me show you how Kotlin is because he uses it, and at the same time I was like, oh well, the way I like read it, I could write it out as in like C++/C/Java. So I'm like, all right, uh, you know, like the syntax got in the way. So then I did it with like off of um off that ID, like on just simply compiling it, you know, and yeah, I got it to work, but now we're just trying to see it running like in Kotlin basically for some reason we want to see if it can work and if there are any weird issues with the
Okay, it's
actual
it's
source.
running. So what the
Yeah.
problem was is it expects the Kotlin source to be main in a folder called Kotlin and the Java source to be in a folder called Java. They're both in the Kotlin folder. Um,
Ooh. Okay, but I
Nice.
fixed the thing that caused the problem.
did what was
Yep.
it?
We
The
forgot to add
-1,
-1. Yeah, it's the
and
-1.
it runs. So that
It's the
was
-1, and it got it
okay.
10.9.8.7.5 uh 7.6.5.4. Oh, whoa, -1. Did we?
Mhm.
Whoa, we don't even. Oh, we missed a 3. Oh
Wait,
my
what?
god. Oh my god.
Oh
Oh my
wait.
god.
Oh wait.
You're running
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After bubble sort, it works. So really, the issue is when you're iterating through, if you do it less than, you're gonna try to like, uh, I mean, it's gonna go out of bounds. You just rerun it. It's gonna go exception index 10 out of bounds for length 10.
Yeah, because your index should be 9, right?
Oh, uh,
Like length is not index. You have a length of 10, but the index for that would be 0 to 9.
so like we never actually. The problem isn't here. Oh wow, what did I just do? The problem isn't here. The problem is in this comparison, right there. That's where it happens. Because like we can make it there, but or no, no. Actually, we have to change the code here so the issue doesn't happen here. All right. Can we kind of like I want to just step through it. Show me how IntelliJ's debugging is.
Oh yeah.
Simple.
So we should just be
Let me
able to
just like
throw breakpoints places. Um, yeah. So click in like the gutter, I think it's called.
second gutter. Oh,
Yeah.
sidebar
Yeah, like next to the 4, but not on the 4.
right here.
Uh, no,
No.
like more to the left. It's like a little
More
more
left.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
got you, got you.
Does that?
What's this at symbol? At not
Uh,
no. Oh, they're telling us something's
but it
bad.
doesn't seem like you can add breakpoints.
It's an odd thing. Or maybe just try to yeah, breakpoints are weird. What's going on?
Like I can add breakpoints, but
I
doesn't look
can't
like you can.
see that. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just a but can you run it and debug it while I watch at the same time?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
no? Okay,
Um,
try it.
that's where do we even want a breakpoint here? Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Even tells you how long it takes your build. That's pretty sick. I like IntelliJ with that.
Um, Okay, so where are we at? Array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So we swap those. Swap. That looks right.
Oh,
And
God.
here we hit it. Right?
Oh, God. It's because the last search index. Whoa. Last search index. It's invalid range 10 to 10.
Yeah, so you're saying last search index equals array.length, which would be 10. Maybe try putting a -1 there. Start at
Yeah.
9.
Oh, yeah. We fixed it like that, but I'm trying to like think of it in my mind, kind of like trying to understand like just think of it in my mind instead of just using the.
Oh, because we're not going I from wait. Oh, because 10 is not less than 10. So it goes I plus plus makes I 10, and then is 10 less than 10? We would want that to fail, but it's 10's not less than 10, so it goes into it and then tries to access the no? Wait.
To me, it seems like it's this. Do you see like what I'm clicking
Word?
on in the variables?
Yeah.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That becomes 10. You go through it, and you keep going. Oh my God. No, this is what it should be. The reason why it's dumb is because I made that mistake. I'm gonna stop the debugger.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be saying, oh, less than I should be setting the search index a freaking. Oh no, what did I just do? Public class. Did I mess it up? Wait, why is it not letting me edit what I want to edit? It brings me up back to. Oh, mine like some special debugging. Okay.
Weird.
So the reason why this fixed it is the issue is here. I'm declaring it as the length, which isn't the size of it isn't the number of the last index. It's just like the actual length of it. So I should literally just be doing -1 and then never doing anything here. It should always just be less than that. That's why I was thinking of it. And then debugging it. You want to debug? Click debug.
Yeah. Run that again. Okay, so go swap.
Like try to run it till like it gets to the last one.
Yeah, so we're on last search index. So now we're on I equals 8. Actually, I equals 8 was the last one. I mean, it worked now.
Because the last search index should be 9 because we have elements of 10. I put it as 10. So it's always going to be out of bounds. Unless you change, like unless I change the last search index here to be 9, which I was doing. You get what I'm saying? I put it as 10 here. And then
I'm not sure why. It seemed like when you changed it to not, like the length of this, it fixed it, but maybe I just missed what was going on.
Wait, let me see. Oh, can I just run it without debug?
Yeah, it works.
It works, but that's because, do you see what I'm like? Because isn't length just basically the number of elements?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
10.
So I'm setting a like an actual subscript index, whatever you want to call it, to the number of elements instead of the actual index of of the last element in the actual data, like the collection
Yeah.
of elements, which
Makes
is what
sense.
messes it up. And that's why I was like, oh, what's going on? And then doing it here instead of here does the same thing, but it doesn't make sense, you know? Why would you go to less than the less? Like, why would you go
Yeah.
one less than the last one when you're already gonna not make it to the last one, you know?
Yeah.
So here it just fixes it. So that was on me, my fault. But it's kind of sick that you could do this Java code and like switch between is kind of this isn't like Go and C the same thing with that?
Yeah, there's some C interop with Go, I think. I haven't used it, but pretty sure that's a thing.
But you just did bubble sort dot because it's like a static function. You don't have to create an object.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you're probably tired with code. You probably had stuff, and all that, man. But what do you have to? Like, I definitely need a lot more practice. This was absolutely, rough.
I need a lot more practice too, apparently.
Nah, man. I think you would have got it faster for sure. But
Well, it's like it's like when I have to do like stuff with like an array and like dealing with like comparing like like for loops on an array of integers. It's just like I don't have to do that often, so I'm like I don't know what the syntax is for this.
But dude, you know what's sick though? What's actually the positive I could take away from this, even though it's a very mediocre performance? The positive I could take away from this is I didn't Google how to do bubble sort.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
Google
great.
how to do. I literally just recalled it from like basically over a year ago. I literally did this like a year ago. Like I literally
Huh.
implemented bubble sort a year ago. So it's really rough, but it's like it's practice, I guess. Once you like
Mhm. And like
get
you
to
didn't. It's not like you were recalling it from memory. You were like trying to think about how it works, and then like wrote out the pseudocode and then tweaked it a bit, and then you're like, okay, I see how it's working, and then you implemented it.
But this is the thing. I don't understand. Maybe like people with higher IQs that are way more intelligent, I think they just conceptually just remember it. Like for me, I have to like try to do it in code. You get what I'm like I could like if I completely forgot something, it's much easier for me to write it out in code. Like then you get what I'm saying? Like I did some some of that note stuff, but like
Mm-hmm.
I could not have done it unless I did it in like C style C++ code.
Really, that's interesting because I think like that diagram you drew is like very easy to help like understand what's going on.
Should I
But
even
you find
stop
the C
sharing
code
this
easier.
screen? Yeah, but dude, I don't like. I mean, you're saying you need practice, but I mean,
Look, I need practice if I'm going to be like
interview
trying to
ready.
help with this like stuff that I'm not used to.
Isn't bubble sort even the simplest out of everything? Isn't it like the first go-to, like not go-to for actual use and like people doing efficient programs because it's the worst, apparently, right?
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it like the first thing you're taught in
Yeah,
like
I think so.
first algorithm?
Usually. Yeah, either bubble sort or insertion sort, that one makes a copy of the array and then just looks for the smallest item, puts it where it needs to go.
This is interesting though. Like you could make a whole algorithms class with a bunch of static functions and then just do bubble sort, add like this, and then just do like an algorithms dot bubble sort. I was just thinking for myself if I wanted to practice in Java, because like the thing with me, I don't know about you. I think you probably have like your main language, but for me, since I don't have work experience and I've only taken courses in different languages, I haven't, and like you telling me about the goal and the project, since I didn't get into that, I guess C++ would be the easiest for me to like write a program. I guess I would fight with the compiler, but I would write the program.
Mm-hmm.
Java is not extremely difficult, but I still don't really understand like the packages and the import stuff. Like it's kind of annoying to me. Like include seems to like be easier for me, just to be like include this and bam.
Like
It just adds it to
what's the
file.
difference? 'Cause I think they're the same.
I mean, it probably is, but to me, like the way I thought of it, what I figured out, or what I was, I guess, what I researched was when you do like an include in C or C++, it just adds that code to like the beginning, like before your code in your file,
Okay.
and it does it like the preprocessor does it and all that stuff, and it just slaps it there, and it just your code is basically
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's
that
not quite
include
how
is
it works with
replaced.
Java. Java, like importing it lets you like access it by its name, but just importing it on its own doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so like I mean, I'm probably incorrect with exactly how everything works with like the C and C++ preprocessor stuff, like not extremely knowledgeable, but what I was told and what like I learned and looked up on the internet is, yeah, you just get code slapped to it and then you could call it below, like all the code below it can call it, and that's it. So to me, it's like, oh wow, include, you just slap it, and now like with Java with packages, it's kind of weird with me. Like with C++, I never got like I never learned or got into namespaces much. They tried to like keep it away. Like I know how to do like call stuff with the namespace, but I never like I guess think of it like as some, you know, package or thing that holds like a container that holds a bunch of code that you could like use its name to like like, you know. But other than, I mean, that stuff, uh what do you think? I guess what do you like? What should I take away from this at this point? At this
I
point,
mean, it's good you recalled it after like a year. That's impressive. You also seem to be able to like you can translate between different languages pretty well already. Um,
I
like
mean, it's
how many languages have you worked with like in classes?
okay. Like with classes, Java and C++ mainly. That first class, I was translating pseudocode to Python, but I never necessarily uh wrote programs like directly. Like I like I could now looking back at it, like, and when I've messed around and wrote like a little Python's, like I tested out Python functions and like a script and stuff. Like it made so much sense that it didn't make when I first was just trying to grasp, you know, what a
Hmm.
variable was. So like I could write a Python program and script very like the syntax even gets more out the way now that I did C++ and Java like fully. In Java, I didn't really uh, focus as much or try to uh, really, you know, do much. I was just passing the class or put like minimal. With C++, I really wanted to understand what was going on because it was like the first exposure to actually like, straight up writing programs without like just writing code, like trying to make a program work and not being
Hmm.
like, oh, let me write it out in English. Let me try to think this all out. It was like finally freedom to be like, you know what? My teacher was cool in that way too, where he was like, I just want to see a working program. Don't give me a flowchart. Don't give me pseudocode. Don't do this. Like, no one does that. Just do your thing. Like, however you do it, just this is your problem, your description, what you need to finish. That's it. So, like with C, especially in the first, because there are two courses, the first course was just uh, a procedural C++. It was no objects, no nothing. So it was just like, you know, you're learning the basics of how to program. So with me, that was like interesting, and all the using namespace std stuff, all the little details of C++, and like what a vector was and all this stuff. It didn't really make much of a difference in that first class. So it was just kind of like getting my feet wet with programming. So now when I like did C++, Java, I did a little Python. When I say little, like everything's a little compared to what like people really do that know their stuff. They're working, uh, you know, in the field. So like they're all C style. They're all basically from the C family, which isn't necessarily like a real, like it's not like a family. They're just all inspired and, you know, come after C, inspired by the syntax of C. They share the similarities, other than
Hmm.
like all the main paradigms. Uh, I mean, object oriented programming is built off of procedural stuff. It's just like a way of. I mean, it's that's a really simplified view. I can't
No,
even
like
fully.
that sounds right to me. Like it seems like object oriented is just like a way to like group certain like responsibilities to something, and that something can also have its own data.
I mean, I actually I want to correct myself because I've come across people who uh have I've come across talks and internet information and people who are like experienced, and with OOP, there's like pure OOP and there's like class based OOP. So like most of the stuff that people do where they just use classes to uh they use classes to kind of organize their procedural code, that's like class based OOP. But like pure OOP, most people, like, you don't actually ever really do pure object oriented programming, uh where it's like messages and all that stuff. And I'm not like very far into the theory. I still have to actually take the college course, like the pure object oriented course with like these old languages. I don't even know what languages they're going to be like. I should actually look it up. What language I'll have, like there'll be one or two languages I'll be using if I take when I take that course. Uh like old ones from like 30 years ago that are like pure OOP or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people that are like C programmers and stuff like that, they don't like what uh, mainstream programming stuff talks about with OOP, is because they're like, all right, the OOP that people are doing, it's not like, it's just kind of like doing the procedural stuff in like a more abstract and like less direct way. You're like coming up with like generic solutions to problems instead of like just writing like a bunch of code linear in a linear fashion. You know what I mean? Like it's not just straightforward, like just a few functions, or like you'd call it procedures. Because I thought like when I first learned, I was like, okay, a function is just this thing you call. But then I found out about there's like functional programming and then pure functional programming, and then procedures are basically like functions in C or whatever, like all that stuff. I'm just, that's why it's kind of just like there's so much information out there, but actually writing the code and practicing doing this stuff, it's very difficult, uh, especially when you're not practicing and doing things all the time, like that one. Not gonna mention that guy. uh, like
Yeah, I guess the difference this Stack Overflow says is like pure object oriented. Like in Java, the primitives aren't objects, but in pure OO they would be.
yeah,
Um,
everything would be an object. Like I heard
Yes.
in JavaScript, you could technically do complete. You could do like pure object oriented, or like I guess you can. I've heard. I don't know if that's true. If you could do like the pure object oriented programming in there.
What is it that you're like? What do you see yourself doing with programming? I guess.
Honestly, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, uh, I had no clue. I just started learning about programming in school, and it's very interesting to me, and I find it something to do. Something, not something like, I guess I'd want to work like in programming in some sort of field, like a niche in programming, like find my like specific role or interest that I can do. But I guess just be a better programmer over time and make a living, and like everybody else is doing, kind of. But I mean, I guess right now at this point, I just need to like I want to learn and get my fundamentals better, because I realized there's a long way to go if to be exceptional or even good at any particular niche in programming. So it's kind of like I'm just a student. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Student.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
You seem
experience is definitely the best way to learn. Like as far as job type thing, like you just need experience.
you seem to really like the kind of like understanding every different layer of like programming or software.
I mean, I do, but I realize like just with this, like if I don't practice these algorithms, or if I don't get that understanding where I can recall it in like 15 minutes, because there are these, there are definitely people who can recall this in like 5 minutes. They don't have to touch it. They've worked with it for so long.
But like no one like, sure, maybe for like a more useful algorithm, but like bubble sort, no one can recall that. And, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
if you work with it, like if you're a teacher or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, this stuff is good to know, but like real world, like I would
Dot sort.
never be. Yeah, exactly. Like in C Sharp, there's like order by descending. Like Microsoft has all those libraries pre-built, optimized as quick as possible. Like you just call it. Like you don't need to know any of that.
Trying to see you. So your name's Ted? Can I call you Ted?
Yeah, I'm Ted. I don't have a webcam on this tower. I just thought you guys in here. I was curious what's going on.
Cool that you joined, man. We're just in here. Someone else joined, and so you're working.
Yeah, I'm a full-time dev. I do web development, but I'm all Microsoft stack. So I was kind of curious to see what you guys are doing with Kotlin, and like even just watching you, whatever you're doing on Linux there with like C or C++. Like to me, that's crazy. Like you're sitting there with like text editor, like editing these files or something. Like I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, Vim or whatever.
Yeah, like that's insane.
It's honest. No, trust me. You probably are doing a lot more interesting things at work. Just like Vim and VI and like those terminal text editors, they look really cool to people that just like they're just used to using IDEs, but they're not that special. They're really old. Like they're
Yeah,
very old.
I mean, I
But they're
get
like,
that. It's cool to see that you use that
yeah,
though.
yeah, they're like hard to use, and you can do it.
Yeah.
They're honestly they're not hard. You could get a cheat sheet and you guys would be able to learn it.
Well,
And
yeah,
you
you
could
gotta have the cheat sheet, and you were just doing it.
because I went down the rabbit hole of getting interested in the wrong things. I should have been practicing bubble sort the past year.
So I will say, it is really cool that like to keep learning. Like that's as far as jobs go. Like when I interview people, um, it's a weird balance because if it's like your entire life, that's like a red flag, kind of like. But I think it is cool to have it as a hobby and like tinker with stuff outside of work. And I think any software developer like kind of has that hobby, um, and have that like enthusiasm like really helps. So like that's the biggest thing I'm seeing from you is just that enthusiasm of like learning this stuff and like figuring it out.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to tell you. Wait, are we still in stream? It's changed. Are we off?
Yeah, I
or
set it to just my face. I could turn it off if you want.
Oh,
Do
no,
you
no,
want to turn it
no.
off? Okay.
If Ted's comfortable with it, if Ted's like aware that he's like on stream, he was or he is. Are you all right
Yeah.
with?
Stream?
Yeah, he was streaming that like the whole time, like before you even joined. Like it's still streaming. Are you like cool with it being streamed? Because he was trying to like just try this out. Like we were just testing
Oh,
this out.
like this is going somewhere else than Discord?
Yeah,
Yes.
all
Oh,
0 viewers.
oh, yeah. I don't. I
We're
don't.
just trying out. There's no audience.
I see. Yeah,
But
I don't
yeah.
care. Have either of you guys heard of or done Advent of Code?
No.
I've heard of it. But I had never have done a problem at all.
Yeah, so that's like if you're looking for a challenge, like that's a really good group of puzzles basically. So it's like a Christmas Advent calendar, and they release a
Oh,
2-part puzzle every day, and basically they give you a data set and they want you to like solve it and get the answer out of it with different algorithms, and you basically have to code like something to solve this.
How many have you done out of those problems at all? At all, or like have you done each year?
Yeah, I
like-
try to tinker with it each year. I think the farthest I've gotten is like into like 15 days, and then it got to some crazy algorithm that I have never like it depending on the day, like sometimes it's very comp sci heavy, and like I don't have a comp sci background, so I don't know like a lot of those heavy algorithms, and so
Do you
I
mind
usually
sharing some of your background? I know you said you work in web, but do you mind
yeah.
sharing, like, you don't have to say like your personal details or like what company or like what you like, but just like, are you full stack, back end, front end? Like, what specifically?
So I would probably consider myself full stack. We're completely a Microsoft shop though, so like SQL Server is all our databases. Everything we write is pretty much C sharp with like Angular front end. So like on the front end, it's either Angular or I think some of our older apps are like jQuery and shit. Um, but it's all running off of basically some version of .NET, um, whether that's an MVC app or API. Um,
And you
but yeah,
said you didn't have a comp sci background?
no, I actually don't have any degree. I went to school for 1 year and dropped out just because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. Um, I
It's like
originally went.
how did you get into the industry then? Like you just like go for the interview? Or like you teach it
Um,
yourself?
so it's kind of a cool story or funny story, I would say. Um, so my brother-in-law knows a guy that owns like a web development company here in the city, and he's like, "Oh, you should talk to him. Like, maybe get a job." Like, I've always like been around computers, tinkered with computers, built websites on the side, but never like pursued it professionally. So I talked to him, and he was like, "You seem like a really smart guy, but I can't hire you. You don't have a degree, you have no experience. Like, just because you're X person, like I can't hire you." Um, but he said, "We've hired a few people. I'm sure you guys have heard of like boot camps type
Mhm.
Yeah.
thing." So
Wait,
he's
by the way, I don't mean to interrupt. I'd like to I want you to continue, but I am actually like in this Java file. I'm gonna make this an algorithms file, and I'm gonna try to actually do insertion sort by memory. And I know you guys, um, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just gonna try to do it. If you're still gonna be on,
I
uh,
think when I close IntelliJ, it's probably going to close it for you too.
okay. So did you close it yet, or
Not
can
yet, no.
let me
I guess
just
I can just
modify
leave it
this?
up
Just
indefinitely.
leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it. I won't hack you. Don't worry. I'm
Okay.
good. But continue. My
um,
bad. My bad.
no, you're good. So yeah, he basically just turned me on to this idea. Like I didn't even know these things existed at the time. This was back probably like 2015, and um, so I looked him up, and I was like, "Damn, this looks pretty cool." The girl I was dating at the time was like all about it, so she kind of helped me quit. It was like a full time thing. Like basically, I quit my full time job and went to this boot camp, and that was my job for 3 months, and it was like 8 hours a day. It was actually like probably like 14 hours a day. Like you had classwork, and they treated it like a business. Like they would give you like in the morning you had like 4 hours of class, and then like afternoon it was like 4 hours of like here you're on this project, like build this application for us. So it's like a lot of real world experience, which was really good. Honestly, it was like one of the best like learning environments I've ever been in, and like everyone, all the students that were there were like super motivated. Like when I went to school, like college, like myself included, like you weren't motivated to be there. It was just kind of like what you were doing. Um, yeah. So long story short, I did a boot camp for 3 months. Got my first job back probably 20 end of 2015. Um, had some really awesome bosses and people that like I. That's like the one thing. Like if you have that enthusiasm and you want to learn, like people will see that and they'll teach you stuff. Like, and you can move up very quickly. If you show that you have the skills to do things. Like there's the one thing I learned is like IT is a huge job market, and there's so many different positions within IT, like, and even just developers. There's so many different types of developers, and I'm in a smaller market, I would say. So I'm from Ohio, So not like Seattle or like New York or some big like where you have like all the top talent. Um, but there's still like so many jobs, and like I feel like if you are halfway decent, like you can command a very good salary, just because of like the amount of questionable developers out there. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that aren't very good, honestly.
Yeah, it's like that CS degree is not actually like good software engineering.
Yeah. And I think that's where the boot camp really gave me a leg up is like they taught you real world stuff. Like this is what you're going to be doing at these jobs. Like it's good to know these algorithms and stuff and like have that desire to learn. But like I can literally tell you in my, 5 years, I have never once done any sort of comp sci stuff. It's more about, and honestly, another huge thing is your social skills. Like, there's this huge stigma, like developers are kind of like no social skills and whatever. But like a good developer interacts with business people and like your team, your analysts, like all this stuff. Like, and if you do that well too, that like puts you ahead of like a lot of other developers, I would say. I don't know. That's kind of my story. So there you go.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's good to. Yeah, it's always interesting when talking to people who like didn't have a comp sci background or like any kind of like degree in software. Boot camps did it.
I mean,
Yeah, it's like an apprenticeship, basically.
I think not saying like this based off of any sort of experience, but just based off of like observing and like looking up online the landscape of like programming jobs. Um, it's typically, yeah, people go to CS, get a bachelor's in CS if they're really interested in just like going to school, getting the degree, or if they have like they're set up. Like technically how I am, like I have people support, like family support. But for the most part, people who just want to like get into web dev or mobile development, they'll, and they really don't like the school, they get into the boot camps. And really, it's like a crash course in like software engineering. And I kind of understood now, like, okay, well, software engineering is really, uh, it's really a trade. Like not in a sense, programming is a trade. You do programming both CS and software engineering, but uh, it's really dependent on what your job is, like how important um, like theoretical CS concepts are, and like which ones will affect you at the end of the day. And for me, at this point, um, I'm not like necessarily sure of exactly uh, where I would be headed or what like projects like exactly where I'd fit in the best with like uh where I'd fit in the best and what I'd be most capable of, cuz I'm like aware of how good some programmers are. They're extremely like amazing programmers in the world at like in different niches, but at the end of the day they're people. Like a great programmer could program a lot of different things. That's just not like related. It's not, no, like you're not pigeonholed by anything. You could, like, if you're a good programmer and you know it from a low level, from even C or C++ or you know Java, languages don't really matter in that sense if you understand the underlying concepts and things. Like you could build things, but um yeah, I don't know. I kind of went off on that, but I know like you guys are both basically in like a similar um space. You're doing software engineering and web in like the web field. I mean, he's doing an IoT now, so which is, of course, involving backend stuff. So I mean, if you guys, it's Ted, if you want to like share, you know, any knowledge, stuff like that. I mean, I'm interested, like in the web stuff. I would mostly only be interested in the back end stuff. I don't like front end stuff at all. Like unless it'd be like inventing some new front end tool, like I wouldn't want to do like do JavaScript frameworks.
I mean,
And
if
like
you're using C#, I assume it's a backend thing.
Wait, what?
Like you said you use C#, so I assume you're doing like the backend to some web service, or
Yeah, I mean, in my role, yeah, I can be tasked with anything from the UI, like in JavaScript, basically Angular, all the
oh
way
yeah, that's
back
right.
to
You said that.
creating database tables, that sort of thing, and then like procedure stored procs to interact with all that. And I guess that's the thing is like when you say you want to do backend, like does that I don't know, like when people say backend to me, that means like database. But are you just talking about like more like middle? I would consider middle like APIs like that are handling these calls or something.
honestly, I do want to have an understanding of databases, like even if it's just for learning purposes, like you know, a little bit theoretical, but mostly practical knowledge of how they work, and like because like Charles was telling me about um, stuff like he's telling me I was like,
DynamoDB. Basically, it's just like a hash map in internet form.
don't necessarily need to like as a novice and like someone who doesn't know about that side. I thought like a database would be like, oh, okay, I guess it's necessary for to storing data from the internet, but like and people use it locally. uh you could use it locally, but you don't necessarily need to use like a database or something if like in any application that has large amounts of data. But it's like I'm still unaware of like all the use cases, like why people use specific databases, and like I have the only course technically right now that I'll be taking it involves like Microsoft Access. uh,
Uh,
unfortunately.
So
Like
that's still a thing.
it
yeah,
is. That's a funny thing though. I'm literally like working with actuaries that use Access to like sort all their data and stuff. It's just like why?
Better than
But
Excel,
like
I guess.
yeah, like that's the thing. Like to business people, like Excel and Access is like the thing.
but can you like you worked with SQL, both of you, right? You both work with SQL. Like
Little.
will I be able to learn the fundamental database concepts to like be able to use other databases if I learn Access, or is it just like
I mean, I would steer. I don't know. Access, you might get some of it, but like I don't know. Access is not a good representation of real databases, I would say.
yeah, I get this feeling that it isn't, but I kind of have to do it because I'm like taking a specific degree, like so it's kind of like I got to do it, I
The
guess.
concept is there, right? Like the concept is you need to persist data in some way that you can like retrieve it or run comparisons or filter it and all this other stuff. The Dynamo thing you mentioned, that I'm guessing that's a NoSQL stuff. Is that one of those
Yeah,
like
yeah.
data lakes or something? Yeah. Okay.
NoSQL.
Yeah. So I haven't touched any of the NoSQL stuff. Like I forget what the other big popular one is.
Wait, is it called NoSQL because you're not using a database?
Because you're not using the was it software query language, SQL.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
And there's like no tables or something. It's all just like one file. I don't know how it
yeah,
works.
yeah. It's like SQL is almost like a programming language in itself. It's like you got a bunch of data. It's like a giant Excel sheet conceptually, and then you can write queries on it to say like, hey, look through this Excel sheet, and then like pull data from here, and then oh, if you got multiple Excel sheets, you can pull data from these different sheets based on certain criteria, and then you can structure output, and you can have like queries nested within queries. Like it's a whole complicated thing, but is problematic in that it can be it isn't always necessarily performant because of all the complicated things it can do.
Yeah, and that's the biggest trick to database stuff is like optimizing it and making it quick because so you're persisting all this data, and then you have applications that are running, you know, off of these databases. So like, for example, like you go to google.com and you run a search for like whatever NBA teams. Um, like you expect that search result to come back instantly, right? Like if it sits there for 10 seconds, like you're not going to use Google.
Yep.
And there's tricks that they do, like cache that, like I don't know. And that's why I say like IT is a huge space. Like there's like you could just be dedicated databases. Like we have DBAs that like that's all they do. Like they wouldn't for the life of you like know how to write a single line of any code language, like because their only focus is database.
I do have to say, I mean, since I am going down a route of getting a CS degree, I'm not really, I'm kind of interested in doing a job with which kind of relies more on theoretical computer science principles, like a little bit more, definitely, if I can, because it's not easy to get into stuff that requires a lot of that knowledge.
Yeah, so like I think you would be more specialized developer. So like myself, I would consider myself like a carpenter or a plumber, right? Like I know how to use these tools and I build stuff with them. Like I'm not the guy at Microsoft or Google like actually writing the tools that I use, like and figuring out all those really heavy algorithms and like taking the time to think all that through and design the stuff that other people use. Like I think if that's the kind of path you're looking at, like you would be more at that level, like getting in with a big tech company.
I mean, I think that's a challenge, and I'm not necessarily even. I don't know if I would be capable of doing that, or if that should be like a goal. Because a lot of people, especially like what I thought when I was like first thinking about going into getting a CS degree, was like I heard about people in FANG. I mean, Charles, like you probably know a lot of people, or you've known people who are obsessed maybe with the idea of working at like a big tech company, and like it's like their whole identity. They make it like everything, and I think like for me, I feel like getting paid to program anywhere is probably great, as long as I'm doing what I would enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like at the end of the day, uh, you can make tools like on your own, and they could be open source, and they could if a lot of people use it, that's in itself, I guess, you can find enjoyment in. Like open source is cool to me. I also see why people do proprietary stuff, and it all makes sense. But to do proprietary stuff at a company, like there's like a big process. So I mean, I guess like this, you got to start somewhere, you know. At the end of the day,
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to my question. My original question is like, what is your goal with all this? Like, where do you see this taking you? So, like, if you ask me that, like, the real question is just like money, right? Like, I worked a lot of blue collar jobs, and there's really no pay. Like it, they call it dead end because like it's true. Like you hit a level where you're not going to make more than 50K a year or something. Um, and like programming definitely raises your opportunity for a higher salary. So like for me, that's like the main reason. Like A, I'm good at it, I enjoy it, but also B, like a big driver is salary. And like a big tech company, like that's the other thing is like you gotta watch out that you don't get burned out. Like I feel like a lot of places burn
can I
developers
just can
out.
I just take a pause? I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, but I like hearing
Actually,
what you're saying.
I'm planning on dropping off soon, so if we want to wrap up, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
I didn't realize it's so late, but yeah, I'd just
Well,
say
If you're staying in chat, we could still talk, man. But I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we
all
can
right.
finish it off however you want. You get in the stream, whatever.
okay.
All right.
I'll wait.
Oh, what market are you in, Charles? Or like
Like,
state kind of?
yeah, I'm in Seattle.
Okay, West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you
Working
you're not at
IoT.
Microsoft or Amazon?
Amazon. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So you said you're in Ohio for Microsoft?
Not for Microsoft. I don't work for Microsoft now. I live in
Oh,
Cleveland,
is it
Ohio.
Microsoft Shop? Like they use like all the
Yeah.
Microsoft technologies.
Yep. So basically everything. We're on Azure DevOps. Like everyone uses Visual Studio. All the databases are Microsoft SQL Server.
Hmm.
They are finally starting to actually deploy stuff to Linux servers, which is interesting. They're trying to do the whole container thing, which will be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, containers are something I haven't gotten to like work super super deeply with. They seem like they're all the buzz like a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's a like there's so many options. Like that's the thing. Like you could just really go and burn a lot of time. Like some people are like big on Kubernetes or whatever, and like I hate it. I honestly really like Microsoft stuff. Like I feel like their tooling is really top notch. They have a everything's integrated. We deploying to like IIS servers is really easy. Uh, there are definitely drawbacks. Like the company definitely pays a lot of money
Hmm.
to Microsoft, but
I mean, probably saves you that development time. It's hard to calculate that.
yeah. But no, yeah, I work for just an insurance company here in the Cleveland area. Not really doing anything cool. Like IoT stuff sounds kind of cool. Where I'm just doing like web apps for insurance agents and people that have insurance type of thing.
Like, is it a big city or? I mean, I guess it's probably somewhat of a large city if they've got tech companies there. But I'm surprised that like you could just find like tech jobs in like any city.
Yeah, I mean, so you don't know much about Cleveland?
Oh, okay, to Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, yeah, I'm from
Yes.
Cleveland. Um, which probably I don't know. It's not definitely not the biggest city in like Ohio is basically Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati are the biggest ones. But yeah, there's definitely some there's a couple big companies here in Cleveland that have like really big IT presence. Columbus is way like definitely a way bigger market for IT. There's a lot of companies in Columbus. But I grew up in Cleveland, so all my family's here, and cost of living is very nice compared to the West Coast. So
Yeah, yeah. That's like it's like, hey, I had to. I was originally from Chicago, and moved to Seattle. So it's like, hey, getting all this money at Amazon, but I don't know anyone.
yeah, that's a bummer too. Yeah, you got to make
Yeah.
like new friend groups and stuff.
Yeah,
Is this still streaming?
yeah. I'm gonna.
Okay,
I'll
so I'm
turn
gonna
it
be able
off.
to see what I missed.
Yeah,
I'm
but
glad. I'm gonna check it out just to see like how
watch like the
like
audio is gonna be all fucked up.
I never
We didn't
streamed. I've
notice.
never been on it, so it's like the newest thing to me. Like, can I even? I mean, can I even get? I guess it's like It's probably simple to just start streaming. I mean, not with a good setup like you, but I can probably stream off of this pretty simply, right? Which is
Yeah, I
would
mean,
be
I think they even have like web browsers that you can just like stream and screen share from, so you don't even have to install OBS.
And I have a question with the teaching session. Is this I mean, I probably have it. Don't I have this locally, or is this something that you're completely in control of
I'm
remote?
like fairly confident it's saved on my computer, and any edits you're doing are actually just going to my computer and then going back.
Okay. Like, cause it's interesting. I was like, I could kind of still like work on it, which I don't know. I don't necessarily have to do it with Java or anything.
Hmm.
But I was just like, I might as well. I could still like try to write some more, whether or not like anybody's here. But
Yeah,
I
even if
would
you wanted, I could just let it run.
let it run. You just see all this stuff
Yeah.
going on. But were you? I mean, are you? What's going on? You're going to? I mean, right now it's like 9-ish 124, right?
Yeah. So I only got like an hour of sleep last night. I couldn't fall asleep after we were talking. Yeah. I mean, no, I was like, that was, yeah, other stuff, but yeah, didn't get much sleep.
It's 12:30 here for me.
12:30 a.m.
Yeah, midnight basically.
So that's East Coast, probably, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. Just got back from broomball, so just kind of unwinding before I go to bed.
Nice. Broomball's that a sport?
Yeah, it's like it's just like a beer league type thing, like co-ed. But essentially, I don't know if you know hockey. So think hockey, but you wear shoes on an ice rink.
Okay.
So no skates, and you just run around, and there's a ball instead of a puck. It's kind of fun.
I played Quidditch once, and you just ran around with a broomstick between your legs, and there was like certain Harry Potter mechanics, but yeah, it sounded like that.
Nice.
Not
Yeah,
quite.
it started off with brooms that you would hit it around. So the other thing I would say about if you do get into like software development jobs, one thing I have learned is that it really like it sucks to say or think about, but it really does not pay, at least in my market, it does not pay to stay at a company. So since I got my first job back in like 2015, I've worked for I think like 4 or 5 different companies now, which is a lot. There's some weird things where like the one company I was working for uh sold off like half of its business and I was like part of that sale. So like I just started working for a new company even though like I didn't
Yeah.
decide to do that. um but with that is like if you stay at a job like you might get a 3% raise every year, at least in my market. Some other markets might be different, but if you go and find a new job, like you can get like 10 to 20% raise.
Easy,
And
yeah.
it like it just doesn't pay to like stay at a company. And like even if you like I've tried to be like, hey, I like this job, I like the people I work with, it's like their hands are tied. Like HR is not going to let your boss like give you a 20% raise or something. Like the only way you can do that is if you leave. And then the one I actually came back to a company I worked for originally and I got a 20% raise. And it was like, okay, cool. Like, why would you not do that? I guess.
Yeah, like if your like main goal is just like maximize your salary, it's like jump companies every 2 years is somewhat recommended.
Yep. Yeah, and for me, like that's the biggest, I don't know, driver of this. Like I like the job and stuff, but um at the end of the day, like it is still a job and
Mm-hmm.
it's just paying the bills. I do like doing stuff on the side though, and like that's if you haven't checked it out, like I would check out the Advent of Code. It's pretty fun. Um, Open source stuff is interesting too. Like you mentioned that, and I have contributed to a few projects. Um, it just I don't know, like unless you really get into that space, like some of those, like a lot of those people that maintain those projects, or like I don't know, like where they're getting their money or what, but they spend like a lot of time working on projects that essentially just like they're donating their time. It's interesting.
Yeah, the business model for open source is pretty strange. And there's been a whole bunch of like press about it in the past few years because I actually don't know what the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling was. It was like Google versus Sun, or not Sun. What is Sun now? The
Google.
Java people.
Google it.
Oracle. Yeah, it was like Google
Oracle,
versus
yeah.
Oracle, where like Oracle wanted to like copyright the like interface to use presumably their databases. And Google's like, hey, like you can't copyright an interface. And then they're like, well, let's take it to the Supreme Court. Let's Google what that outcome was.
and I'm with like tech companies. I feel like most of the time there's like a lot of uh, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that's just more than just programming, and that's why I feel like you donating your time when you guys were saying about open source for most people. I mean, it truly is just passion projects. I mean, if it's like if, especially if you do something on your own and you're kind of like the dictator of your project, like a, you know, uh, kind of just like someone who runs the show, and you don't have to answer to anybody. It's kind of liberating because, like, in most things in life, people don't have that control over anything, even their devices that they use. So, like, writing a piece of software just by yourself, where no one could tell you what to do with it, and you could put whatever, slap whatever license you want on it, and you could be like, you know, what can anybody do? I mean, people can buy you. I mean, once it's out there, once it's open source, I mean, someone, I don't know if I don't know if companies and people take over open source projects, modify the code and make it closed source. I mean, yeah, I heard
Yeah,
people.
or they can change the license. I've seen that happen. There was some drama a while ago where like people were blocking certain companies from using open source licenses. Like they like explicitly prohibited like Amazon, Microsoft from using the software. But then Amazon, Microsoft just forked the repo because like it doesn't change any of the past. So you can always just take whatever it was at the past with the appropriate license and be like, okay, we're just gonna build our own fork of it off there. So, not a great strategy.
Business, definitely not. Open source isn't really for business unless there are people who get paid to do the open source work on like uh stuff like the Linux kernel and stuff like that. They get paid to do that by those big companies. But like just like a open source game or something, that's like a pure passion or a programming language. Unless, I mean, yeah, or programming language until it becomes, unless you market that programming language like Bjarne Stroustrup, the guy who created C++, it's huge now. It's taken over so much, but C is still alive and kicking at the end of the day. So it's like everything starts from somewhere, but like there's so many reasons and intentions for programming. And like Ted, you shared yours, and Charles, I talked to him kind of like about his. And like when you said the goal stuff, it's like the most important thing, but for some reason it's kind of hard. Like it's kind of scary in a way when you're someone who's like it's kind of scary to make a goal of any kind when it's challenging, because it's like you're trying to aim for something, and yeah, failure is not the end all be all, but you're still trying to aim for something, and it's not like a like putting in time and effort for something that could be out of your grasp, or you could do it and you don't know. Kind of like how people talk about imposter syndrome or whatever. Like they make it to certain levels of certain things and they're like they constantly don't know, and that takes a toll on them, like how they feel. Because you like actual work, any sort of job like you guys are doing, there's no like there's no grades, there's no homework assignments, there are deadlines or things like that, but no one's gonna be like, okay, you're a tier 1 web developer, tier 5. I mean, people say, oh, junior, senior, this, you create those, but like a title doesn't necessarily always show the level of skill someone has at programming, or like a specific, you know, uh, like it doesn't show all their knowledge in everything that they do. It's to some people it's just a job. To some people it's like a lifestyle. So it's
Yeah.
like a weird thing.
I was surprised to kind of find that when I got like in the industry, because like I chose CS because like I love computers and just like, hey, I want to learn how to program them, and then just was like worked out that like that's also a really great high paying field. But then like getting in the industry, like some people are like, yeah, I just like this is my 9 to 5, and like I'm not like personally interested in programming. It just I can do it and it pays well.
Yeah, we had a guy say that on an interview. It was actually like really funny and like I don't know, like it's not something you hear very often. Like someone asked him, like, oh, what do you do? Like how, like, you're working on any side projects or blah blah. And he's just like flat out was like, no, I don't. He actually like went so far as saying like I usually only program like 5 to 6 hours a day. Like even within your 8 hour work days, like he's like, yeah, I find that like after like 5 hours, like I mentally just like can't really focus and like I'm just spinning my wheels and I like find something else to do for the rest of the day. Um, and it's honestly true. Like like
Yeah.
burnout is like a real thing, and like if that's all you do, like you could burn yourself out very easily.
Well, speaking of burnout, I think that's a good spot for me to head to sleep.
Yeah, it's getting late. I'm probably gonna cash out
Yeah.
here.
This was fun. Yeah, glad we did this. I think maybe we'll figure out something we could do again. This exact format of like trying to program like sorting algorithms didn't quite seem to work well.
It's really messy.
But I like the discussion afterward. And thanks, Ted, for joining.
Yeah, no problem. I was just having a beer. I don't even know like what server this is. I don't like where I'm at. I think I was posting
Nice.
in the Cars channel before.
Were you
Yeah.
lurking or is it TikTok? Like you joined recently from TikTok?